Who am I?
Where did we come from?
What's God like?
If he does exist, does he really hear me when I pray?
Would he want to meet me?
Why do we suffer?
Where can I find hope?
God is closer than you think.
God is closer than you think.
Where were you when the final whistle blew and we realised we'd actually won the Grand Slam? We love to tell our stories, don't we, of where we were and what we were doing when, as an entire nation, we hung on whether this little air-filled piece of leather had actually touched down over the try line or not. Up and down the country, people who may never have watched another game of rugby in their life were all watching, wishing, wondering, hoping we'd done it again. Growing up in Wales, rugby was always king of the sports. If you were on the rugby team, you walked a little taller than the rest of the school. You represented us. No matter who thinks otherwise, rugby is and always will be our beautiful game. Have you ever wondered what it is about sport that appeals so much? Whether you're a rugby fan or not, we all have these moments in our lives when we are so drawn into some sort of match or competition that all of our focus is on one single thing. A rugby ball, a football, a snooker ball, a ping pong ball, a chess piece. For that moment, that tiny little object, in the grand scheme of things, seems like the most important thing in the world. Why is that? It seems that we all arrive into this life as natural-born fighters. It's there. We want to be on the winning side. We want to succeed. Whether that's a big part of your personality or whether it shows itself in more subtle ways, you can't deny that we love to win, that we are driven to do better, to be better. Nobody wants to be a loser in this life. What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What is that goal that you aim yourself and your life towards? What line do you dream of crossing? That thing you want to be best at, that job you want to reach, that point you strive yourself towards, that person you want to be. At some point in all of our lives, part of being human means asking that age-old question, what is my life for? Does it have meaning beyond the 9 to 5? Does it have a purpose? Why am I here? Does my life have any value? When I am dead and gone and dust, will it matter that I was here? All across our nation, we stumble across these places, castles, houses, monuments, where people who have long since died have left their mark. They've taken their wealth and their power, and they've left that permanent marker on the map. I was here. I existed. I matter. And when they come to write up the history of this place and time, somewhere they will have to record my name. I was somebody. I was here. We can't all afford our own personal castles, but we do all dream of being important to somebody, of being recognized, known, and valued. In different ways, whether we realize it or not, we are all screaming out, I am here, I am here, I am here, and if for a brief moment of time I can make a big impression, If I can get this ball over that line and everyone cheers my name, if I can get this job or this position, then I will make a difference. Surely I'll count for something. If I can get into that perfect relationship, build this life, this legacy, this reputation, then it will matter that I lived. My life will have meaning and I will have been here for a reason. Whatever it is that we aspire to, or whoever's approval we seek, you simply can't deny that we live with this need, this hunger for somebody to say to us, well played, you did well, well done. Why do we feel this way sometimes? Why do we seek for meaning for our lives and for the ultimate quest for the meaning of life? Where does that yearning for purpose come from? And then we have those moments when we glimpse it, when that place within us that yearns for more is satisfied for a moment. Those times when we discover our true purpose in places we weren't even looking. One of the most profound statements about the human condition is this, that God has set eternity in the human heart. It's from an ancient poem from the Hebrew scriptures, and in one sentence it captures that universal hope. The hope that there is more than the eye can see, and the amazing truth that God himself has placed this longing, eternity, inside of us. That the recognition that we work our whole lives for, that the purpose that we fight to discover, our meaning, our value, our worth, can be found, and it can be found in God himself. If you find inside of yourself a thirst that nothing in this world can quench, isn't it likely you were made for another world, for another atmosphere, for the atmosphere of God, of eternity? What if all of our efforts to find this elusive meaning of life was simply the longing of every human heart, striving to get back to its original design, to do what you were made to do? What if you were made for God, made to know him? If that's true, why is it so hard to find him? I remember once a tennis professional coming to the town where I lived and holding some basic coaching on a Saturday morning. And I went along with my mates and enjoyed hitting the ball back and forth, missing a point here, winning a point there. We took a breather, and feeling full of myself, I went and asked the tennis pro if he fancied a quick game, and he kind of chuckled a bit and agreed. And I remember him throwing the ball into the air, I remember him serving, but the next thing I remember is the sound of the ball hitting the fence behind me. I didn't even see it coming. Sometimes we don't know how bad we are until we see what good looks like, until we see the standard. I guess that now, even years later, the fact that I don't even know his name means that he wasn't good enough to compete on a national level. The question is, how good is good enough? In all our efforts to impress and our striving to succeed, if we were to try and stack up all the good stuff in our favour, we all know it would fall short of God's standard, that we'd miss the mark by a huge measure. I know it, and you know it. Even on a good day, I cannot compete. Deep down in the heart of hearts, we are striving for something that we can never achieve. But there is good news. The God who knows every strand of DNA in every cell of your body, who knows every thought that's ever entered your mind, loves you with an extreme passion. And long before you even started looking, before you even cared, before you were born, he bridged the gap that we couldn't. When we couldn't reach up to him, he reached down to us. He stepped down into our world, into our skin, and was born as one of us. Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us. The Bible says that though he was like us in every way, he was nothing like us in one respect. He never failed. He never missed. He lived the only perfect life this world has ever known. But the way of love is often offensive to those who walk the way of power and pride, and the world couldn't handle him. They wanted to wipe him off the face of the earth. They mocked him, they beat him, they killed him, crucified him on a cross between two thieves. The one who'd never done anything wrong dies there in the place of the guilty. The holy held up like the dirty, the innocent killed like a criminal. But what precious few people knew at the time was that was actually part of his plan, to offer up his perfect life to God as a sacrifice for us. He substituted himself. He stands in my place. And what he offers to each one of us is an exchange. If we will give him our previous record, admit our faults, admit our failures, admit our need of forgiveness, he will swap his perfect record for yours. And you can finally live at peace with God and with yourself because of what Jesus has done. We can know that the past failures are paid for, that we are known and loved in the present, and that in the future we will receive the ultimate well done from the only person whose opinion of us will matter for all of eternity. What if your worth as a person was not found in what you could achieve? What if your value to God was not based on your success or even on your performance? What if you could discover the person that the God who made you and loves you created you to be? What if nothing else will satisfy? Think about it. Talk about it. Question.